Hi BookTube, this is Johnny. I'm going to try to make a video this way. I have to be down in the lower level tonight because our granddaughter Josie Joy is having a sleepover with her nanny. And when Josephine, who's 4 years old, has a sleepover with Nani, she sleeps next to Nani on our bed in her princess sleeping bag. So, and she always says, Josephine says, "Papa, you sleep downstairs." So down the lower level where we have most of our books, we have a couch, we have a bed, and yeah, so I'm down here. It's only about 9:30 here in Southwest Michigan. It is a Friday night, and it's too early to go to bed. And I'm super tired. I didn't sleep well the last couple of nights. So I came down here to just wait it out until I get sleepy. I took some sleeping aids, and I'll probably go to bed around 10:30. I brought down to read. People do Friday reads. Most of the books I'm reading are upstairs, either in my main study or on my table in the living room. But I did bring down to read until I get tired tonight. Don't Save Anything: Uncollected Essays, Articles, and Profiles by James Salter. I showed this in a recent video. But I do have books I got at thrift stores and books I got at the Book Nook. Today, as you all know, I volunteer at the local library used bookstore, the Book Nook, and they've been going through the library and taking books out of circulation, and I'm able to buy them, some of the ones that interest me. So first I'll show those, what I got today from the Book Nook. I bought this book. I don't think this is a library book. I think somebody donated it, but it's called The Command of the Ocean: A Naval History of Britain from 1649 to 1815. When I looked at this on Amazon, he did an earlier volume, which I can't remember the title of it. He did an earlier volume, I think, from the Naval History of Britain from 660 to 1649. But I don't know, it was only $4 and it looked interesting, so I bought this for $4. And then I bought for $3 The World of William Steig, who was a cartoonist for the New Yorker. He's done he's written over 40, not written, but I would assume either written or illustrated 40 books. But he was a very famous cartoonist for the New Yorker for many years, and he did things like that. And he did book covers, magazine covers for the New Yorker. And as you all know, I collect books on the New Yorker, writers who wrote for the New Yorker, memoirs, anything dealing with the New Yorker. I noticed this is written by Lorenz, introduction by John Updike. John Updike wrote for the New Yorker short stories, poems for many years, and so I got this for my New Yorker collection. So I got that at the Book Nook, and then I bought this for $5. This is Thomas Eakins. He was a portrait painter. He did photography. He did sculpture, watercolors, drawings, photography, sculpture. I showed last summer, I got this biography on him, Portrait, The Life of Thomas Eakins by William S. McFeely. And I showed that McFeely is famous for his portrait of Walt Whitman. This is Walt Whitman with his long gray hair and gray beard. As you all know, I am a student of American Transcendentalism. I am a student of Walt Whitman, Leaves of Grass. He also has in here photos of Walt Whitman that he did, photographs of Walt Whitman. And there's some more photos of Walt Whitman, the great American poet. This is really a great volume. It's only $5. It was taken out of circulation. It just has old photos and portrait paintings. Just all kinds of interesting things. So I got that. See, here's some of his portrait paintings. Anyway, I got that for $5. That's what I got at the Book Nook today. I put some books aside, some other art books. And then it was Thursday. I had to go pick up my prescription at a local pharmacy that's inside a grocery store. And when I go to pick up a prescription, I pass thrift stores and I have to stop. As I've said, I'm only visiting local thrift stores. I don't go North Holland. I just stay around where I live. And there are 3 thrift stores. There's Action House, there's Bibles from Mexico, and there's Goodwill. And these are what I found at these 3 thrift stores Thursday as I was going to pick up a prescription. I picked up Book Lust by Nancy Pearl. She was, or maybe still is, a librarian in Seattle, and this is her recommendations. Recommended reading for every mood, moment, and reason. Nancy Pearl, Book Lust. I looked at this. And then I picked up this book, How to Read a Novelist by John Freeman. These are short little interviews with writers like Philip Roth, E.L. Doctorow, Charles Fraser. It just goes on. Dorothy Lessings, Natalie Gomer, Gunter Grass, just all these different writers. Just short little interviews. Then I picked up this little novel by Javier Cercas. He was a Spanish writer from Spain, and this is his novel that is situated in the Spanish Civil War. It was translated out of Spanish by McLean. It came out in 2011. As you all know, I'm a student of the Spanish Civil War. As we know that Hemingway was an ambulance driver, and Dos Passos, John Dos Passos, the famous American writer. And I picked up this travel memoir, Places in Between by Rory Stewart. This is his, it says in January 2002, Rory Stewart walked across Afghanistan, surviving by his wits, his knowledge of Persian dialects and Muslim customs, and kindness of strangers. I like travel memoirs. He also wrote The Prince of Marshes, which I think was on PBS, was a special on PBS. And this is The Women of the Golden Dawn, Rebels and Priestesses. These, the Golden Dawn was a group of women during the turn of the century, the early 20th century, late 19th century, who were involved in astrology, magic, tarot cards. I don't really know much about them, but I collect books on magic and witchcraft and occult movements, not only in England but in America. And it looked kind of interesting. It was only, I think, 90 cents. And I picked up this New York Review Classic Crimes by William Roughead. This was this individual, from what I gather in reading the introduction, back in the 19th century, he was like involved in law or trials, and he wrote about famous classic crimes that took place. It's like true crime stories. Some are very grisly, but I can't resist a New York Classic Review book. I just have to buy them. And then I got this Phenomena of Religious Faith, edited by Terrence Reynolds. These are different essays by philosophers on religious faith. It's like a textbook in some Christian philosophy class. And then I picked up the Journals of Expedition of Lewis and Clark. This is I got this for almost $1, these 2 volumes. And they're from the Heritage Press. It says in here, this set at one time sold for $110. Probably it was in a slipcase at one time. But I'm a student of American history. It has illustrations in it, like it has that about the Indians that they came across as they were on their epic journey to out west. It also has in one of the volumes, it has a map of their journey. See, I can see it. Oh, I don't see it. It was a long. See, it has this long of their journey. So I picked that up. I already have these, but not this edition. And then I picked up this thing, Campidoglio, Michelangelo's Roman Capitol. These are photographs of this classic statue by Michelangelo in Rome. But what attracted me to this volume was the essay by Joseph Brodsky, who's a very famous poet and essayist, and he wrote an essay on Marcus. Oh, what's that? Marcus? I can't pronounce his name. My mind just went blank. Rusilio, something like that. I got it for almost 50 cents, and it just, I don't know. It looked kind of interesting. So those are the thrift store books I got. I got all these books. I think I spent altogether, $15 for all these books. And I just went around local thrift stores. I didn't go out of town. I just went around, and I got all these books in an hour. Except for the books I got at the Book Nook, which I got today. So it just tells me that you don't have to go to you know, a retail bookstore. There's all kinds of treasures to be found at thrift stores, junk shops, library used book sales, libraries used bookstores. You can find all kinds of stuff. I've been telling myself that because pretty soon my wife and I will be on a fixed income. But if you look around me, you can see I got plenty to read. I don't really need to any more books. I got plenty to read the rest of my life if I choose just to stick with what I have in our library. Plus I got books in the back room, I got books upstairs, I got books in my study, I got books everywhere. And I often think that I could just stop buying books right now and just read books what I got here in our library to the day the Lord takes me home. So anyway, today's a Friday. Like I said, this is still football season. Tomorrow I will watch college football. Sunday I'll watch professional football. And I'll read things like this, essays, short stories. In the mornings I'm still going to read my Christian books. I got 2 new Christian books in the mail today, which I'll show in a future video. So yeah, still writing in my diary. I think I'm on page 969. So I should be on page 970 in the morning if the Lord tarries. So I hope you had a good week. I thank you for the new subscribers. I thank you for the comments, and do pray that you're all doing well. And I hope this video is not too confusing and it's not blurry or out of focus, even though I feel blurry and out of focus. So I will sign off, and until next time, bye.